Outside of the DW5600, this is perhaps Casio's most iconic G-Shock watch. But is it worth adding to your collection? What's good, bro? I'm Louis Gusto. Welcome to another watch review. Today we're checking out this bad boy. It's the Casio G-Shock DW6900. We'll be checking out the materials, features, and how I feel about this watch. But before we get into any of that, make sure you finesse that like button, subscribe for more content just like this, and drop a comment below. What's your favorite G-Shock model? The Casio G-Shock DW6900-1V retails for $84.95 and comes in standard Casio watch packaging. That's a white paperboard slipcover with the blue Casio wordmark logo over a blue paperboard box with the white Casio wordmark logo. Inside you'll find the watch on a black plastic watch stand with a cardboard label and the instruction manual. There are many options available for the DW6900, but this particular model features a black resin case with a black resin strap, a plastic pin and buckle closure, stainless steel back, and mineral glass. The DW6900 measures 53.2 millimeters lug to lug. It's got a case width of 50 millimeters, a case thickness of 18.7 millimeters, and the watch weighs 67 grams. The watch crystal is made of mineral glass, and there are 5 buttons, 4 metal, 2 on either side of the case, and a resin one on the front with a G. And now let's take a closer look at the watch face. This is a G-Shock with a circular design. On the bezel, you got that G-Shock lettering in red, and all 4 buttons are labeled: mode, adjust, start, stop, and split reset. Beneath that mineral crystal is an LCD screen broken into 4 parts, a curved rectangular shape with 3 circles. Those 3 circles in the main timekeeping mode will count up the seconds, and at the bottom you will find the main time in 12 or 24-hour modes, various icons indicating whether or not certain features are enabled, like flash alert, chime, and alarm. You've also got the day of the week abbreviated to 2 letters, as well as the month and the date. Surrounding that LCD screen is a charcoal bezel with the Casio wordmark, the water resist branding in blue, and surrounding everything is a black border with illuminated branding and various other button labels. And now let's talk about the features of the DW6900. Even though the LCD screen does feature 3 circles, there's really nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to the features of this watch. You've got the main timekeeping mode in 12 or 24-hour mode, a daily alarm, hourly chime, flash alert feature, LED backlight. There's a full auto calendar as well as a stopwatch and a countdown timer. And of course, you can't forget it's shock resistant and water resistant up to 20 bars. Now that we got the features and tech specs out of the way, let's check out how the Casio G-Shock DW6900 looks on my 7.5-inch wrist. The DW6900 is yet another classic G-Shock watch that we're looking at on this channel. Like I mentioned, outside of the DW5600, this is maybe Casio's most iconic G-Shock watch. It first dropped in 1995, incorporating design elements from 2 other G-Shock watches from the 90s. It differs from the DW5600 not just with that circular design, but with that triple graph as well as the front button. So given that it's an iconic model, how do I feel about this particular G-Shock? Well, I gotta say, it's instantly become one of my favorite G-Shock watches of all time. Not necessarily in this color, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I really love the circular design of this model as well as that triple graph. Just looking at that screen with those 3 circles counting up the seconds, for not being a smartwatch, it's a pretty entertaining screen, I gotta say. It does retail for $85, but you can frequently find it for much cheaper on sites like Amazon. And in fact, I will have an affiliate link in the description in case you want to add this one to your collection. In my review of the DW5600, I mentioned how those little metal buttons were kind of hard for me to push. I do have larger fingers, and sometimes I find myself having to use my fingernails to press those buttons. Well, on the DW6900, you'll find pretty much those same metal buttons, but because of the way they're situated on the case, it makes it much easier for me to press. At first, when I put it on my wrist, I thought these were bigger buttons, but then I compared the 2 watches and they seem to be the same size. The difference being that the circular case makes these metal buttons stand out just a little bit more, which makes it much easier for me to press. That front button is a nice welcome addition as well. The LED backlight is different from some of the other G-Shocks in my collection. Instead of being a greenish blue, it's more of a white LED. Given that it's a G-Shock watch, you know it's gonna be tough, gonna be water resistant, and stand up to pretty much anything that you can throw at this watch. It's something that you can wear to the gym, ride your bike, ski, play extreme sports. It's gonna hold up and stand the test of time. There's really nothing you can do to this watch to make it stop working. I think if you're a G-Shock collector, this is an essential piece to have in your collection. But even if you're not a collector and you just wanna have 1 or 2 G-Shocks in that collection, I still think the DW6900 is well worth considering. I love the design on this watch. It feels sturdy, it fits nicely on my wrist. It's not too big, not too small. just right. And it's got all the features that you've come to expect from a standard G-Shock watch. That daily alarm, flash alert feature, electroluminescence, chronograph, countdown timer. I've mentioned before on this channel that right now the DW5600 is my daily watch. I wear it to the gym, around the house, running errands. But I will say, as soon as I get a DW6900 in a color that I love, it will be sharing some of that wrist time. So is there anything I don't love about this G-Shock watch? Well, I will say when I first put it on, the strap looked and felt somewhat cheap to me. I'm kind of sad that for $85, you're not getting a stainless steel pin and buckle closure. Instead, it's a black plastic and it kind of makes it look like a toy. But I will say it is comfortable and it feels secure on my wrist. The only other thing I don't absolutely love about this watch lies in the particular model. The 1V is just very plain for me. I've mentioned this before, but in my G-Shocks, I like the colors to be bold, bright. I like them to stand out. It's okay for me to have one black G-Shock, but two is just one too many. So for this particular G-Shock model, the DW6900, I will be looking for it in a nice white or maybe yellow color. Then it'll really stand out in my collection. Other than those two nitpicks, I really don't think there's anything wrong with this G-Shock watch. You know it's gonna last for a very long time. It's gonna be reliable, accurate. It's gonna stand up to water, to shock. And especially if the DW5600 isn't for you, then you should definitely add the DW6900. It's one of Casio's best sellers for a reason. It's got a great design, amazing features. It comes in at under $100, so it's still somewhat affordable. It's just an overall great watch. One of the best that we've looked at on this channel so far. But I wanna know your thoughts. Put it in the comments below. Do you own the Casio G-Shock DW6900? Are you planning to add it to your collection? Let's chat. As always, I appreciate you watching, bro, and I will see you next time. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you.